HOA built a bridge on my land, then sued me when it collapsed. Big mistake. It all started with a little creek that ran through the back edge of my property. A narrow, quiet stream that had been there for generations. It separated my pasture from the edge of a luxury HOA development that had sprung up 5 years ago. For years, they had been asking me to let them build a small bridge over it to connect their community to the main road faster. I refused every single time. That creek was mine. My property line was clear on the deed, and the survey markers still stood where my grandfather had placed them. But HOAs don't like hearing no. One morning, I woke up to the sound of heavy machinery. When I walked down the ridge, there it was, a half-built concrete bridge right across my creek. Excavators, cement mixers, and a crew of smug contractors in bright vests. I shouted, "Who authorized this?" One of them shrugged and said, "The HOA board did. They said you'd signed off." I hadn't signed a single thing. By the time I called the county inspector, they were already halfway done. I sent photos, videos, and drone footage, but no one came out to stop it. Apparently, the HOA had filed paperwork labeling the creek as community access drainage. In other words, they'd forged the paperwork. So, I let them finish. Because if they wanted a bridge on my land without permission, I'd make sure it became their problem. 2 months later, after a week of heavy rain, that bridge started cracking. The foundation washed out, the railings bent, and the concrete split right down the middle. It collapsed into the creek like a pile of junk. And instead of admitting their mistake, the HOA had the audacity to sue me, claiming my poor maintenance caused the collapse. I smiled when I got the letter. They wanted a fight. They got one. My lawyer filed a counterclaim for illegal construction, land damage, and falsified documentation. We subpoenaed the contractor's records, the county permit office, and the HOA's own internal emails. Within 2 weeks, we had everything. Forged signatures, fake permits, and text messages from the HOA president bragging about getting one over on the farmer. The court hearing was short. The judge took one look at the evidence and dismissed their case on the spot. Then she ordered the HOA to pay for environmental restoration, property damage, and legal fees. Total cost, $312,000. They also had to remove every piece of that broken bridge at their own expense. For the next month, dump trucks came and went, hauling out what was left of their little shortcut. They had to replant the grass and rebuild the creek banks exactly the way they were before. And every time they passed my farmhouse, they had to wave at the man who'd just beaten them with their own arrogance. Now there's no bridge, just a quiet creek again. I added a wooden sign on the bank that says, "Private land, cross at your own risk." And sometimes when I sit on the porch watching that stream flow under the sunset, I think about how easy it would have been if they'd just asked. But they didn't. And now every raindrop that hits that creek is a reminder that crossing me was the biggest mistake they ever made.